Yeah, they got to redeem themselves. That's why they're on a mission from God. Here you can see the streets below the streets. So remember how, this portion of Chicago may have survived the Great Chicago Fire because it blew north and northeast. And you see the streets below the streets, how they raised the streets. That's a classic South Side little bungalow. Look at that. And you see, you could see how, look at the windows are below the street level, the garden apartment, and you go to the stoops, go up. You can really see it here. Look how the ground floor, that used to be the main entry there. And they raised the street for the storm sewers. And then they made the second floor, they made a new entrance. And you got the garden apartment, then you got the new entrance. These buildings have probably been here since the late 1800s, and you see how the streets were raised. And then they added this new infill development. And that's why they got plenty of room for a basement garden apartment level there. Look at this eagle. What's this eagle? That's why I like walking around these different neighborhoods. You just discover stuff that I've been through here before. I never noticed this eagle. They got some sculptures here. I guess there's a sculpture there to painted this eagle, or saved it from another building. They might have saved it from another building. There's a tree back there. There's the lower level, the streets below the streets. Look at that mural. Great murals all throughout Pilsen. Look at that box there. Look at this. Just check this out here. So thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. We're walking up Canal. No, this is Jefferson. This is Jefferson Street. And we're just checking out the murals here. Nice little bird. Hey, Anna Marie, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. And, well, people seem to be really like, I learned that on TikTok. Here's this little angled street. What street is this? Mary's Taqueria, right here at Canalport. Canalport in Jefferson. Canalport's a really old street. You see how it runs at an angle? And like Bridgeport was actually, they when they dug the canal, the old canal, before they made the Ship and Sanitary Canal and widened it. That's why Bridgeport, there actually was a little bridge, and that low bridge, and they had to unload the boats and reload them to go to the other watershed. And then we got these interesting streets like Canalport. You see how Jefferson, these buildings look like they're sinking in the ground. It's because they raised the streets, because we're really near the South Branch of the Chicago River here. Look at that. See how the ground floor looks like it's sunken below the street there. You can really see it in this one. Look at that. How they made the, you see this all over the city of Chicago. When we were like, what are you talking about? The streets were raised. This is what I'm talking about. See how that building looks like it's sinking into the ground? It's because they raised the streets starting in the 1850s. And you got these older, some of these buildings might predate the Great Chicago Fire. And that's why they're like this. But here, we're where are we at here? Is this 18th Street? Jefferson, 18th Street. So there's where 18th Street comes under the Dan Ryan. We could have went up Canalport. I'll go this way. I think there's a divvy bike station that I'll eventually use after I show. We've shown this too, this old brewery district. And we'll show, at least we've shown this before on TikTok. I don't know if I got any footage on YouTube of this area that was used in the Blues Brothers movie that we're talking about. And if you missed it, you can check out the rerun. We went through Chinatown a little bit. I didn't have time to go to, look at that. Look how much that's sunken down there. And they put some glass block there. The steps that go down. There's a sewer down there. Oops, can you see it? There it is. There you see how low it is down there below. But yeah, if you missed it, we went to the 88 Marketplace, checked out Chinatown. Look at this brick alley. This little angled brick alley. Canalport comes at an angle here. It's a really old part of Chicago that still exists here. East Pilsen. Here, I'll get on that divvy. I got my helmet with me. We can ride back. I want to ride back up through, see if they connected that Wentworth to Wells Street through the new 78 neighborhood. I don't even know if you can ride through there. So if you can't, I'm gonna have to find an alternative route back, but we'll figure it out. But we also saw Lawrence Fisheries. There's VIPs. I don't know what that is. And here's where Canalport angles into this shop. Was it Schopenhauer? I can't remember the name. It's a German name, a German brewery. All those German beer barons that built all those mansions. There was a beer called Edelweiss. Anybody remember Edelweiss beer, or your grandfather drinking Edelweiss beer? They used to make Edelweiss beer here. It used to be a popular brand that's no longer exists. Maybe you can find it somewhere. I don't know Pabst or who bought it out. But remember the Blues Brothers. Remember when they visited the Penguin. This is it. They said it was, in the movie they said they were in Calumet City, but they were here. The Bluesmobile picks up. They built a false front right there. That's where the Penguins orphanage was. It was down this alley. And it's called the Schoenhofen Brewing Company. Schoenhofen Brewing Company. You can look it up. This is an historic district because this used to be a brewery, Chicago brewers, just like Anheuser-Busch or something. They got amazing detail. You see how it says 1860, 1886. You see that? Okay, I got to zoom in here. You see how that looks like the Star of David? That's an old brewer's mark. If you look it up, there's a brewer's mark. It goes back to the medieval times, like with alchemy. The old German brewers would use that as a mark that they were brewers. They only use hops and water and yeast or whatever they used to brew their beer. It was the purity laws there for the brewers, and they would put that. But look, it's the shop, the Schoenhofen Brewing. See right there. You see how it says Schoenhofen Brewing. And if you remember the Blues Brothers, this is the alley where they filmed the Penguin scenes in the Blues Brothers movies. Yeah. Edelweiss beer still exists. Well, thanks. I'm glad it does, because they you know, it used to be a big brand, and so if you ever run across Edelweiss beer, this is where it came from. And you see there's a brewery district here that they still try to preserve this, and it's at 18th Street and Canalport. This is East Pilsen. The Dan Ryan's that way. And that bridge is the South Branch of the Chicago River. So we'll cross the street here, and we'll go over and check out a divvy bike. We'll go check out this Vips. But does that look familiar, Chris? Have you seen that before? We'll cross the street here, and there's no crosswalk, but we'll see if the cars actually stop. It's good. Yeah, I know. They keep. Oh, okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, see, the cars keep on going here, and that's why there's not a crosswalk there, because they don't want people to cross there, because cars got the right of way there. But there's Kentone's Drive-In. VIP. That's a tattoo parlor. VIP's tattoo parlor. That's what this is. Look at that. Look at that in the ceiling there. Look at that detail. And